Hi, boys and girls.
Hi, boys and girls.
So today is a pretty magical day. We are gonna create some fairy houses. So we've just been out on a hunt looking for materials like we learned about in the book. We're gonna use materials that are from nature. So anything that you find outside, you can use to build your fairy house. And one of the things that the fairies ask, is that you don't hurt anything while you're building the house. So you don't want to take a flower and pick it necessarily. But if you find one that's on the ground, that's perfect.
If I found a couple on the ground, Mrs.
Oh,
Lurvier.
that's great. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
they just fell off, so I
That looks like a fairy attractor.
It is a fairy attractor.
Well, I have my special helper friend who's like a master fairy house builder, Griffin.
I'm so glad you got him.
And why don't we just share like some of the materials that we found together?
So we found this huge rock.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I like that.
Bark.
Ooh, yeah.
Sticks.
Sticks are good.
Yep.
And smaller rocks.
Cool. And some other. Let's see if we can.
Like a leaf.
Oh yeah, leaves are fun. Leaves are good. Can you see? I don't know if you can see our tray.
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
All right. What do you have, Mrs. Nelson?
So I found these cool. Look at these cool. These were all hanging around the ground. You see how long they are?
Yeah. Let me see. Those are so cool.
Aren't those
awesome.
so great?
Look good.
And I also found. Look it's a hydrangea, but it's dried.
Oh.
I didn't know what it was when I looked out the window, and I got a look closer and I figured it out. And then, as I showed you before, I had a couple of these purple flowers fall off. And look what else fell off. I have this really pretty tree bush in the side of my house. Look at these.
Yeah, look at those.
Right? Those fell off.
It's going to be very colorful.
Yes, and I have a tree out in front of my house, and these petals are all over my front lawn.
Oh, so you could use all kinds of things in
a bunch of those, and I also have some sticks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah, so a bunch of stuff here.
Okay, so if you haven't yet gathered your materials, you can pause this video and go gather a bunch of materials and get ready to build. Now, one other thing before you hit pause is you probably want to build it outside, but if you want to build inside and bring it outside like Mrs. Nelson is doing, that's perfect. We're going to find a little spot that is kind of undisturbed, and we're going to build here. And like I said, Mrs. Nelson's going to build hers and then bring it outside after.
Yeah,
so
I have a piece of wood here that I'm going to bring. It's going to help me to transport it.
All right, I love it. All right, so we'll see you guys in a bit. Here we go.
All right. Let's do it.
All right, so let's do it. Let's build.
So, Mrs. Lurvier, are there any rules here?
That's a great question, Mrs. Nelson. There really aren't any rules, except that we just want to respect nature.
Yeah.
So, we don't want to hurt any animals or creatures or plants.
Oh, right.
While other than that, have fun and be creative.
And if you want something to come to your fairy house, only use outside materials.
Good.
Not like tape or.
Good point. Good point.
Right, so try to build it so that it stays. Okay, I got you. I'm almost making mine look like a little raft.
Oh, I see that. That is so cool.
I have to make it stable on the bottom so when I transport it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this cool thing I found. It's like a dried up.
Oh, that is really cool.
Right?
I wonder what you're going to do with that. What are you going to do with that?
I'm kind of trying to decide right now. It sort of ties. Look at it, almost made like a little circle or an oval.
Oh, wow. It's actually really pretty, isn't it?
I love it.
I love it too. Griffin, why don't you tell us about yours so far?
So I'm trying to make like a little hut.
Cool.
A hut's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ooh, I think I'm going places here.
Oh, this is so good.
Really excited.
And it's so much fun. You know, the other fun thing about this, kind of like the other art that we do, Mrs. Nelson, is
Yes.
once you start building a fairy house, you can go back and add on to it and check on it every day. It's really one of these things that you can keep working on, which is really fun.
And that's what I love about art.
I know, me too. What is that, Griff?
It's a centipede.
Oh, you already have a visitor.
You know.
So now you have like a insect house and a fairy house all in one. Maybe your fairies are disguised as insects.
Probably.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh yeah,
I like
look at
that.
this. I'm loving this building going on.
Let's see.
Wait, can I see yours, Mrs. Lorvier? How's yours
Yeah.
coming along?
It's good. Can you see, I don't know, can you see the screen?
Oh yeah. All right. Mine has a lot of depth to it. And I
Cool.
just keep adding, and what I'm having so much fun with is I'm not really making a plan. I'm just putting stuff in there. You know what this reminds me of, Mrs. Lorvier? It reminds me of when we were making the dinosaur. We were making the dinosaur.
The nest.
Yes.
Totally.
Mrs. Lorvier's having a really hard time with her words today. Thank you so much for helping me again.
No, it's just a lot like that, because when we made those dinosaur nests, we used all natural materials also,
Yes.
and they were so fun to build. Yeah, and this is one of those things that, you know, it takes a while, and you can build and rebuild. And
I don't think there's an age limit on this either.
Oh, no way.
And yours doesn't have to be a fairy house. It could just be like a cool model house.
A cool nature house. Yep.
All right. Oh wow, look at this petal I found. Look what it's shaped as.
Oh, you keep
see
finding. I love it.
I keep finding hearts today.
How magical.
Perfect.
I wonder what you're going to use that for. It looks almost like a blanket for the fairies. Do you want to know a kind of a magical story about our house?
Sure.
So one time Griffin and I built this pretty elaborate fairy house, and it had like a pool, and it was really cool. It had like all kinds of areas for playing and sleeping, and the next morning we went out, and I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you, there was fairy dust all around the fairy house.
Really?
It kind of looked sort of glittery, right, Griff?
Yeah.
Wow, that really makes me want to.
Isn't that cool? I know. So you just never know. Just like in the story, if the fairies choose your house to visit, then magic happens.
Oh.
And also, if you remember at the end of the story, that all the fairies turn into one of my very favorite creatures of all times, which is Griff.
Monarch.
You got it. And so if you're building and you look up and you see a monarch, let me just tell you, the fairies are watching you.
Oh wow.
And that's pretty cool. So you might be attracting monarchs as well, which are kind of fairies in disguise. That's what I believe.
I feel like that's why you like them so much.
I think so too.
I think that all insects are fairies in disguise.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Can I show you mine up close? I'm gonna have to move my camera, I feel like. Hold on.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Just gonna have to take you on a little field trip here.
On a trip.
Okay. Look at.
Oh, well, Griff, you got to come look at this. Come around this side. What? It is beautiful. Okay, I would go there.
I want to live there.
And I want to live there too. It's beautiful.
Isn't it cool?
Good question. Griffin just asked if taking grass was against the rules. And I would personally say go for it. Because look, Griffin's picking some grass, but he's not killing anything. Like, we cut our grass. It's good for the grass. So
Right. And
what are you
and
going to
know
use
what?
the grass? Whoops,
Sometimes
sorry.
it grows back thicker.
Yeah. Griff,
Yep.
what are you going to use the grass for?
I'm gonna take a lot of grass and make a little like shade
Oh, yeah.
on top of a piece of bark.
Cool. Let me see.
So it's gonna be like
Wow, look at all the details you have in that one.
So cool. So, is there a door? Am I looking at a door?
no, this is the door.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Oh, you're changing the door? See, that's the fun part. Like, you can just change things
Yeah, I
out.
like that. I like the door you're about to put on there. I feel
Yeah,
like it
well,
looks
let's see.
like
It's gonna be like so you could get on the roof.
Oh, cool.
I made a little knot in it.
Wait, maybe if you put a rock on top of that.
Yeah, probably will.
Like, if you put, I'll hold it. And oh, I love the door. What
that's a
if
great door.
it's a great door? Do you want to put a rock on top of this so that they
There
can?
we go.
Is this like a rope ladder kind of thing?
Yeah. So like
I'm trying to sturdy it, but I think. Oh, there.
make a little like antenna.
Oh, yeah.
Antenna-ish thing.
What about that? Are you good with that rock on the top that holds that?
Look.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I want to go in there, don't you?
I
That's
do.
awesome.
I'm mesmerized right now. I'm just sitting here watching you
So cool.
add things to your fairy house. It's so fun.
Griff, you know what? I just noticed something. What is this interesting? Like,
That's string.
it's funny. So, but you found it outside. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna
I mean,
be
you can
nice.
choose. If you find something outside and it's not like natural material, I think I would say it's okay to use it, you know?
Because it's outside already. Yeah.
And you want to know something really cool that similar to fairy house building, what a bird will do when they're building a nest. If you
Oh,
you know what I'm about to say, right, Mrs. Nelson?
yeah, I do.
Sometimes they'll find like a piece of yarn or string or something that just happens to be, have landed in your yard, and they will work it into their nest. So maybe you've seen that before, where you find an old bird nest and there's like a piece of string kind of in it.
And sometimes it looks like it's like a different color where
Yeah.
you wouldn't normally think they found it outside. They just found it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Yep.
I love
I
that.
got some grass.
All right, so like we said, you can just keep working and working. So we're probably going to wrap this up for now, and we want you guys to just build and have fun and create and just really go for it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go outside again and see if I can find some more stuff to add to mine.
Me too.
All
Me
right.
too. So, and we can send each other pictures. So feel free to share pictures with us. And
Oh, we'd love that. We
yeah,
would
we
love
would.
to get pictures.
We would love that so much. All right, boys and girls, we will see you soon. Have fun.
All right.
Build. Bye-bye.
Bye.